Bro still has his sights on MJ.
Is target acquired?
Negative. Only secondary target, but I'm good to go if you need me to.
Hold off for now. The secondary target is viable as a consolation prize. The primary target remains.
Peter? Aunt May pulls up on MJ with the celly. It's Peter. He wants to talk to you. Good. He's already an hour late for dinner. Hey, Tiger.
Hey, bae.
So when you coming home? We cleaned out the roaches just for you and...
MJ,
You got your serious voice on. Is something wrong? No, yes, maybe. It's just that it's about to get very bad here. And...
Don't you say it. This is not a goodbye conversation.
I'm not saying anything's gonna happen. I just wanted to say that I love you and I will see you soon, okay? I have to go now. As they say in those big budget movies when things get really hairy in the third act, this is it. And we see all the heroes squabbling in the final battle in Manhattan, the climax of the Civil War. There was no doubt that sooner or later, it was gonna come down to this. And we see Cap truck the shit out of Iron Man when he tries to blast him. As Peter watches this all go down, he starts thinking to himself, whether a law is right or wrong, moral or immoral, is an ideal or a personal philosophy. It always seems that fights over ideas skip over the barrier into the real world and become battles of real violence. With Iron Man's back to a wall, he lands a blast on Cap. So why is it then that our dreams of peace, our aspirations to love, to better understand one another, so rarely make the same leap? I don't know. All Peter knows now is that the final battle has started and he can't stop. He won't stop unless he stops. And he won't. He'll never sacrifice what he stands for. Not as long as he's alive. And the people up there, in the buildings, in the media, in their overpriced condos and apartments, their press helicopters and Air Force jets with their weapons hot, I wonder if any of them realize we're not fighting for ourselves, our turf, or for the right to wear our mask. We're fighting for them, for our ability to be there without condition when darkness comes. I guess I'll never really know, but in the end, I suppose all that really matters is that they understand, that they know. Because without Aunt May and MJ, I wouldn't have anything worth fighting for, only things worth dying for. This fight is so crazy, even the prisoners are tuned in. Dude, look at them, wiping each other out. Yeah, save us the trouble. All the prisoners are excited watching this, but the Kingpin is just sitting on the stairs, in a call with the hitman.
The way this fight is going, it looks like we may not need to pull the trigger, boss.
I disagree. If our friend survives, we can take care of him when he gets home. If he dies, I want the other two taken out on principle. After all, they'll be utterly devastated in the event of his death, which will make our task an act of mercy. Damn! Hey, Mr. Kingpin, check it out! And they see the moment when Captain America turned himself in and was arrested. Bet you never saw that coming. Quite the opposite. In every two-sided war, there must, in the end, be one winner and one loser. And this one will serve us very, very well. On the news, they talk about how the city of New York is still reeling and struggling to pick up the pieces of a shattered neighborhood and come to grips with the events of the last 24 hours.
We're trying to answer the question, what now? And what does it all mean?
And we see the hitman and Jonah listening in. Well, Jonah's looking at a board with multiple headlines. He finally decides on one and says, run it.
Slowly, neighbors and businessmen and others have begun to move out into the streets to assess the real extent of the damage and its cost. But when measuring the cost of this conflict, what dollar figure do we give to the lives lost, careers destroyed, relationships torn apart, and wounds that will never truly heal? Lost heroes, fallen heroes, and some who will never get up again. Complicating matters further are the heroes that cannot be found under the rubble. Among those missing are Triathlon, Coldblood, and New York's own Spider-Man.
MJ gets up in tears. Mary Jane, I need to get some air. He'll be alright, you know? He will. He has to be. When MJ opens the door, the hitman gets an alert from that device he planted yesterday. So he picks up that sniper and scopes in immediately. MJ is outside just looking at the moon. Just let him come home safe, God. I'll do anything. Give up anything. If you'll just let him come home, please. I'll give up anything. While she's praying, whole time a Glockiana scope is aimed at her face. Meanwhile, in the White House, the president is meeting up with his advisors so they can craft a speech that he'll deliver to the nation later tonight. At the same time, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives are saying that the conflict is now over and that the parties on all sides should now come together in the best interest of the nation, to put all their differences behind them. This will be easier for some than others, as we see Bill Foster's family grieving at his grave. The hitman remembers what that guy told him last night. Spider-Man has a knack of knowing when trouble is coming, so stay as quiet as possible until the time is right. But the hitman's about tired as shit, and that boy falls asleep. You of all people should know a watch pot never boils, MJ. He'll get home when he... But right when Aunt May says that, Peter is at the front door. Welcome home, the conquering hero. But when MJ opened that door, a signal was sent to the hitman. He got another alarm, and that woke his ass up. So he gets back in position with his sniper, aiming his sniper at Peter and MJ. So how did it go? Peter's spider sense starts going off. Fine, Peter, is something wrong? Peter's getting a bad vibe. Something's wrong. He has them locked in, and he pulls the trigger. The bullet flies right through the window, but Peter tackles MJ in time. Down! MJ, are you Peter? Peter looks back in shock. No! Aunt May has been shot, and she's already leaking. Unfortunately, the chapter ends right here. We gonna see what happens in part 3. I'm gonna see y'all boys and girls next time.